Oh, don't do it, black people. Stay the hell home. Stay safe, stay home, stay out of it. This is not our business. We didn't get us here and we're not going to get us out of it. These white folk got to do the work. And until they do, they are going to destroy this country. That's how much white supremacy matters to these folks. That's how much the delusion, white delusion, not white supremacy, white delusion. That's how much this matters to these folks, that they are willing to throw away their whole goddamn country. They would rather be kings of rubble than to live good and everybody eats. Everybody gets treated well. Everybody gets treated right. So stay home. Don't go out there. No matter how bad it gets, stay the hell home. This is white folk business. Let them deal with it. This is brother against brother, father against child. This is in-house for them.
White people in real time come on this platform with the realization that SNAP benefits is the same thing as food stamps and EBT. It's quite comedic. I can't lie. It's a little funny. And not funny, haha, funny, weird, because they did the same shit with Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. They didn't realize that they were one and the same. Just two different names. SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, EBT, food stamps, they're all the same, just different. You know, one is just like the government official name. I don't know. That's the thing about racism and being racist. It's a sickness. It's a disease that's generational, if we're being quite frank. And y'all don't want to heal from it. Y'all don't want to get better because you feel like you can stand on some imaginary pedestal instead of, I don't know, instead of allowing everyone to get benefits that make all of our lives better. You will cut off your nose to spite your face. You will shoot yourself in the foot in the name of making things difficult for a demographic that you just don't like, for something that they can't change, their skin. But then you don't realize you're hurting yourself too. And a lot of these politicians, the only color they care about is green. Money is their god. Money is who they serve. I don't know what more you need to understand. That it's not like a left and right thing. Yes, most of the time, unfortunately, because we do live in America, it is a black and white thing. But it's also like an up and down thing. A lot of y'all, especially white people, need to realize that you are the third estate. You are the proletariat. You're not the bourgeoisie. That's not how that works. But again, your racism that y'all don't want to get rid of, that y'all don't want to let go of because it makes you feel better about yourself, has now caused all of this to come full circle. I don't know, like, why are y'all mad? Y'all voted for this. And then saying y'all didn't vote for this is kind of crazy. Y'all gotta stop saying I didn't know. That's not a valid excuse. We have Google. There are so many different platforms for you to obtain information from. I don't know is not good enough. You voted for it. You wanted that man in there. And he don't care about y'all. He don't care about none of us. We're not in his circle. Why do y'all really, like, you see how much of a nasty sickness racism is? It's caused all of this BS. And y'all can't cure yourselves until y'all face reality and admit that you're sick. You have to, first part of recovery is admitting that you actually do have a problem, that you have a sickness. You know, so let's start from there. But
all of us farmers have officially fucked around, and we have officially found the fuck out now, guys. I am on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm on the verge of tears. Overnight, all of my help fled. My help, out of fear for their safety, their lives, they fled. And now I am left out here standing in my unharvested carrot field. It is January, and I'm in Kansas, and this is when carrot harvest goes in Kansas. This field should be full of workers, but all my workers left. And who the do you think is to blame for that? Every single one of them left. Now I have to by myself try to fill that truck with a load of carrots in one day, and I can't do that, guys. I have to get these carrots to market by next week or my contract is terminated. This is $936,000 worth of carrots right here, and I can't pick them by myself. If they're unharvested, I will get kicked out of that contract, and I will get sued by the Planters Loves Carrots company.
So immigrants were stealing American jobs up until Americans actually had to do them? So the Trump administration has quietly lowered the price for H-2A visas, so farmers can bring migrant workers back to the country to work on farms. Why, you ask? Because America has spent the last year vilifying immigrants. But the second that labor disappears, the government is like, well, maybe we should think about bringing them back. Because, see, before the election, Americans swore up and down that immigrants were taking these jobs and an American would work on a farm and do this stuff. So where are the Americans at? Are they suddenly allergic to farm work? Migrants were pushed out, threatened with detention camps, and treated like criminals. So why should they come back just to pick crops? So I'm asking y'all, should migrants come back to work on the farms? Or should they stay away because America made it clear they ain't safe here?
You want to get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
But sure, if they got documentation, they got a better job than working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family.
Trump says, be patient. The farmer's going to be better than ever. Well, you better hurry up.
So that's a guy named Franz Rowland, and he's been farming for 40 years in Georgia. And it's really this next thing he said that just completely blew my mind.
We've lost our market share, our trade to China. I don't know who dropped the ball in Washington to allow these prices, its trade to diminish like it has. But somebody dropped the ball. Somebody wasn't looking out for us.
This dude is a soybean farmer and has been for 40 years. It's his life. It's his business. And he has no idea, literally no idea why China won't buy our soybeans. Seriously. There's a 16-year-old kid somewhere scrubbing the bottom of a toilet in the back of a Hardee's that can tell you why China isn't buying our soybeans.
We're probably already in a recession. We just don't know it yet. My name is Maxime Durand. I'm running for governor of Idaho in the May 19th Democratic Party primary. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about the economy, because that's the thing that affects all of us. And right now, I think most people would agree the economy is not doing super well. Putting aside things like pending World War III with Iran, we're already dealing with very high unemployment. We're dealing with the jobs that are available being not particularly well paying and typically part-time if you can find them, and wages being historically depressed and definitely not keeping up with things like inflation, housing costs, or the costs of groceries. This is a major problem that affects everybody, whether or not you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or otherwise. And just some kind of rough numbers here, about half the states or more in the United States right now are technically in a recession. The national economy probably would be in a recession right now if about 20 to 25% of the economy wasn't being propped up by AI investments and crypto scams. And something like 10% of stockholders own about 90% of the stocks in this country. And that same 10% of people is responsible for about 50% of consumer spending right now, which means that for regular Idahoans, for regular Americans, things are not going well, and they haven't been going well for some time. But the reason you don't see like a formal recession being announced is because one of the basic metrics to determine if we're in a recession or not is when you have 2 consecutive quarters of stagnant or less growth. And right now, it's kind of iffy on that, depending on how you measure that data. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 6 months we get a formal recession announcement. Typically, if you look at historical recessions, like 2008 or the dot-com crash, those recessions aren't formally declared until months or even like a year or more after people start feeling that initial shock. And it's probably just going to continue to get worse as gas prices go up and we continue to see just the basic cost of living get more and more out of reach for regular Idahoans. So if you are interested in progressive solutions and good leadership in the governor's office in Idaho to navigate this, because whoever wins the gubernatorial election, the main issues they're going to face are going to be kitchen table economic issues, please take a look at my platform. It's at DurandForIdaho.com. Consider donating if you can, and remember to vote for Maxine Durand in the May 19th primary election. Thank you.
This is not something that farmers can work around. No one anticipated that we would have a shock to the system. All the experts did not see this coming when we received this rise in fertilizer prices because of this war.
Nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody thought that electing Donald Trump to go on a revenge path and do whatever he wants completely unchecked would lead to this. Nobody said anything. Kamala Harris didn't say anything. The people on social media, the liberals, the Democrats, the sensible independents, anybody with more than 2 brain cells didn't see this coming. We all saw this coming. We knew there was going to be a war. We knew there was going to be a conflict. We knew that his idea for tariffs was terrible. We knew that mass deportations was terrible. We knew that everything he was bringing to the table, all of his, well, I haven't thought about that, half-baked plans were terrible. So don't sit here now and say nobody saw this coming, shock to the system out of nowhere. No, he started this war with Iran single-handedly, and we knew he would do something exactly like it. So these farmers want to continue to tell us, we didn't know, we're in pain, all these big farmers are getting the subsidies and the bailouts, we're suffering, we're going to close our family farm. You fucked around and now you're finding out. I don't know what else to say.
Earlier this year, the Trump administration spent months demonizing immigrants and migrant workers, portraying them as criminals and blaming them for the economic problems and job loss in the United States. The political message was clear: immigrants were the problem. But now the agricultural industry is facing the reality of what those policies created. Farms across the country are dealing with labor shortages because the truth is something that politicians rarely admit out loud. The United States agricultural system depends heavily on migrant labor to function. So now the same administration is trying to bring migrant workers back through the H-2A agricultural visa program, which allows farms to recruit temporary foreign labor to harvest crops and maintain food production. But the wages being discussed are raising serious alarms. Reports circulating this week say that under the proposed wage structure, some H-2A workers could see pay calculated as low as about $1 an hour in certain cases and around $7 in others, depending on the state and how the deductions are applied. Part of that calculation allows farms to include housing as part of the compensation package, which reduces the amount of actual cash workers receive. Farm worker housing in the United States has been criticized for decades for overcrowding, poor sanitation, and unsafe living conditions, which makes the idea of counting that housing as part of the worker's wage extremely controversial. Because of these changes, the United Farm Workers Union has filed a lawsuit against the administration, arguing that the policy violates labor protections and will drive wages down, not only for migrant workers, but for agricultural workers across the entire industry. The situation exposes a contradiction that's difficult to ignore. The same workers who were recently portrayed as a threat are now being asked to return because the food system can't operate without them. Yet the policies being proposed still treat their labor as something that can be underpaid and easily exploited. If this issue matters to you, start paying attention to how agricultural labor policies are being written and how they actually benefit. Share this information and stay informed about the lawsuit, and ask whether the people who harvest the food that feeds an entire country are being treated with the dignity and fair compensation that they deserve.
Black America, I need for y'all to stand down. Sit down. Don't get up. Don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. Let these people finish handling their business out here in these streets. Because these people, they are not playing fair, and they coming for us anyway. So we need to let them people handle this business of getting their people out the way. Because they coming for us. We know that. That's their sole intention, is to come and get us. I know y'all ain't seen me for a minute. Brother been under the weather, and you can hear it in my voice. But listen, man, I need y'all to chill out. Don't make no moves. Don't be out there in them streets with them rallies and them protests and all that, because all they want to do is catch us out there. And once they catch us out there, all hell is going to break loose. So stay your behind at home, watch you some TV, get your exercise on, drink you some water. I know my sister's chilling. Brothers, I need y'all to chill too, because they coming for us. The man just had the whole database, the whole police database of misconduct wiped. I told y'all, when y'all hired a criminal, expect criminal activities. When you put a natural-born criminal in the White House and you don't expect criminal activities to happen, y'all crazy. Y'all are out y'all freaking mind. Now, they've been out there talking about where Kamala at, where Obama at. You know, they chilling. We don't need them to move at all. Don't worry about Kamala. Don't worry about Obama. We need our white brothers and sisters to handle their people, because y'all did this. You Latinos that voted for this ignorance, y'all did this. Y'all fix it. And you brothers and sisters that also voted for this fool, y'all can go out there. They don't like y'all anyway. So if you want to go out there and celebrate with your people, go ahead. But they going to lock your asses up. All I'm saying is, I need my people to stay in the house, stay drinking water, stay exercising, posting videos, and doing our thing. We trying to enjoy life. We getting ourselves together right now. In the midst of all this stupidity, we ain't doing nothing. We letting y'all fix it. Because when Kamala stood up there and told you what was going to happen, you didn't listen. You didn't want to save yourself. You wanted to save your race. And now they coming after you. What you didn't know is all the laws that helped us helped you more. You thought DEI was for black people. Then you found out more white people getting help with DEI than black people. Y'all thought snaps and food stamps, because y'all listened to Ronald Reagan them back in the day with that welfare queen bullshit. And then you found out it's a lot of white people on food stamps and government assistance than black people. Yeah, we not struggling. They just tell you we struggling. They just put our struggle up front so you can see it. But them white boys in middle America, Missouri, Iowa, Kansas, Arkansas, yeah, they struggling. Because all them farms, they get government assistance. All them ladies that live in the inner city or out there in the suburbs, y'all don't know. Some of y'all people in them suburbs that live next door to you, they on government assistance. They not paying $2,500 for that house like you are. They might be paying $40, but that other check that cover their rent, that other check that cover, it come from the government. See, but you don't know that. You got people out here driving nice cars, living in big houses, but they not paying the same amount of taxes and bills as you are. And you wonder how they doing it all. Because she ain't got no job. She at home every day. Yeah, that's their government check. So for my people, I need y'all to stand down. Stay at home. Stay doing your thing. Don't get yourself out there in them streets with that ignorance and cause a problem. Because they waiting on us. They want us. The man told you the qualified immunity for the police is going to be permanent. He trying to hook the police up. And who you think they coming after once they get hooked up? They coming after us. I told y'all. They ain't but two ways for them to get rid of us. It's to lock us up or to kill us. They can't send us nowhere. Because this ours. We built this. Our people did this. So if y'all don't know, don't take your ass out there. You ain't seen Tim Scott and Byron Donaldson up on TV looking for their daddy because they found out too, they don't like you no more either. Dumbasses. Y'all stay at home. Stay safe. Stay 100. God bless you.
Whoa, boy, farmers are going through it, man. This one's getting it hard. 0 profit last year. In the red means you didn't make money. You worked for free. And this one in Illinois is worried about this year. Check out this farmer in Illinois.
I'm standing on a corn and soybean farm in Hull, Illinois. It's, as you can see, super rural. It's on the Missouri border in southwest Illinois, and it's literally half a world away from the war in Iran. But amid its ripple effects, fourth-generation farmer Rod Bushmeyer and his family already fear ending their second year in a row in the red.
Yeah, you can only do that so many years. Hopefully it's cyclical. We're in a down cycle, and hopefully we'll head up.
He says last year it was the tariffs that did them in, and this year it's the still soaring cost.
This year is not going to get better for farmers because we're in this Iran war. He complains about high diesel cost, high fertilizer cost, also tariffs, also the trade war has ruined relationships. If you didn't know, farm bankruptcies are skyrocketing, farm suicides are skyrocketing, and you know what? They voted for number 47 in his first term, and they got screwed. They got screwed in their first term, and they're voting for him again. So they made no profit last year. They're looking to make no profit this year. Farm bankruptcies are going to skyrocket, and just so you know, this was all in Project 2025, and this was available to farmers as well. If you found this post sad, disturbing, but informative, please like, comment, follow, and share.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
One, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
Gotts hopes for long-term solutions that support both farmers and workers.
The misnomer that farmers exploit immigrants is just so sad to me because, like I said, my friends and neighbors, we love our workers. They're our family. And they want to work, and they will work hard, and there needs to be a path for these people in our country because our government has failed them. And it is failing, I feel, the farmers.
Bought any. I've talked a lot recently about how the billionaire and ownership class in this country is buying all the media, social media, all the TV stations, everything, so they can completely control all the message. And that is exactly why a 40-year soybean farmer doesn't know why China isn't buying soybeans. Because he's not watching the news. He's watching the, I don't know, Trump propaganda network. I don't know what he's watching. And he's literally trying to find anyone else in Washington, D.C. to blame for Donald Trump's trade war against China. And oh, by the way, China stopped buying our soybeans completely the first time Donald Trump was president because of a trade war. I have no idea how someone operates a business for 40 years and has absolutely no concept or idea of how your business is impacted by policies, whether they're local, county, state, or federal. That's literally the most important thing you need to know. You know, I don't know what it is about this guy. I really want to feel bad for him, but I can't. I can't. If you're that irresponsible to not even know what is happening to your business, I just close down. You have no business being a farmer. Seriously, just shut it down. Thanks.
All these damn illegal aliens taking over American jobs, it ain't right because they're all criminals, you know. That's why we need a strong leader that'll put Americans first. That's why I voted for him, because he said he's going to deport all them illegal aliens, okay? Because I'm a proud American farmer. I don't need no illegal immigrants taking over my jobs. Ain't that right, Jose? Jose? Juan? Pedro? Where did y'all go? Hey, where did they go? They left. Why did they leave? They got work to do. Because they were illegal, and you voted for the guy that wants to deport them. Not really the most stable working environment. What? But I need their cheap labor to make my thin profit margins to make sense financially. Well, you should have thought about that, because now you're going to have to hire Americans, and they're going to unionize and ask for higher wages and eat into those profit margins. Wait, are you saying that I have to face the consequences of my own actions? Because we can't afford this. We're all going to be bankrupt in 2 quarters. Funny how life works that way.